So, what if you could completely change the way you work, the way you lead, and honestly, the way you live? Well, today we are diving into a really powerful way to think about time, not as this thing that's constantly controlling you, but as a tool that you can actually master. Let's get into it.
First things first, let me ask you a question, and I want you to be honest with yourself. Is time controlling you? I mean, really think about that. How much of your day is just a frantic race against the clock? You've got your calendars, your deadlines, your 5 year plans. It feels like we're all just marching to the beat of this invisible drum, right? But what if I told you that drum beat isn't even real? And this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you have time as a tyrant. That's where you get all the stress, the constant pressure of deadlines, and you're always in a reactive mode. But then, look at the other side, time as a tool. That's where you find focus, a real sense of purpose, and a truly creative spark. Our whole goal today is to help you jump from that first column over to the second one.
Okay, so here is the first big, and I mean big idea we need to unpack. Time, as you and I know it, isn't some fundamental force of nature like gravity. Nope, it's a human invention. It's a system, a framework that we made up to make sense of the world. You can think of time as a language we built simply to measure change. That's all seconds, hours, and years really are. They're just units of measurement. But here's the catch. This super useful tool that we invented has somehow become our cage. We've gotten so trapped inside our own invention that it now dictates everything, from our entire corporate culture all the way down to our own personal anxiety. Let this one sink in for a second. The past is memory, the future is imagination, the present is reality. It's so simple, but so profound. The only place where you have any actual power, the only place where you can make a change is right here, right now. It's the only reality we've got. So how do we actually tap into this power of the present? Because this isn't just some nice philosophical idea. It is, for sure, a leadership superpower. For starters, you make way better decisions. Think about it. When do we make our worst choices? It's usually when we're driven by some fear of the future or some regret from the past. But when you ground yourself in the present moment, all of that noise just fades away. Your decisions become sharper, they become more strategic, because you're finally responding to what's actually real, not what you're just imagining. Second, you unlock your creativity. I mean, true innovation almost never happens when you're just staring at a clock. The real breakthrough ideas, they happen when you're in a flow state. You know those moments? You're so focused on what you're doing that time just seems to disappear. When you take away the pressure of the clock, you give your mind the space it needs for deeper, more original thinking. And third, and this one is huge, it builds trust. A leader who is truly present in the room with you, they listen more deeply, they communicate more clearly. That presence is the absolute bedrock of trust. And we all know that trust is what gives you real influence and inspires your team to do amazing things. Okay, so we get the why. It's powerful stuff. Now let's get into the how. Here are some actual practical steps you can take to start breaking free. It really comes down to 4 key shifts in your mindset. First, focus on decisions, not dates. So instead of always asking, when is this due? Start asking, what is the single most important thing I can do right now? Second, you got to measure outcomes, not hours. The goal is the quality of the work, not just how much time you spent in a chair. Third, design your work around your natural energy rhythms to get into that flow state, not around some rigid, arbitrary schedule. And finally, build in small daily habits, like just a minute of mindful breathing, to practice being present every single day. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Okay, but does this mean I should just forget about my long-term goals? And the answer is absolutely not. This is about building your future with focused, deliberate action today, instead of getting paralyzed by worrying about everything that might happen tomorrow. You know, when you really start applying this mindset, you start to see a much bigger picture. This isn't just about your personal to-do list. This is about unlocking a future with truly limitless potential. I mean, think about the greatest innovators and leaders throughout history. Do you think they were just constantly racing against a deadline? Of course not. They were deeply, profoundly present in the moments that truly mattered. And that's what allowed them to literally shape civilizations. The illusion of time dissolves the moment we stop chasing it. Just think about that. The second we stop reacting to a schedule, the moment we stop letting a clock dictate our every move, we become the active creators of our own reality. And that, right there, is where the real power is.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. Let's stop asking, how much time do we have? And instead, let's start asking, what can we create right now that will outlive time itself? Because that is how we build a future that actually matters, one present moment at a time. Thanks for digging into this with me today.